Welcome back to the Book Bonk Podcast. I'm Chilly.
And I'm Ray.
Today in this episode, we'll be going over, actually, the rest of the book. Chapters 33 through 39. I decided not to split it up, so we're just going for it.
Yeah, why split it up when we could just not?
Exactly. A bit of a big section chunk here, but it kind of all flows into each other. I don't know how much in order we shall go in this episode, because usually we try to stay in chapter order. This is probably just going to be us bouncing around.
I was like, I feel like we try to do that, but we don't succeed in doing that.
Fair. I was like, it's really hard to especially stay in order for this, because if you chapter 33, 34, whatever, 35 or something, and not mention the fact of, this is really insane to read after knowing Liam dies.
Liam, no!
And we all cry. And that's the end of the podcast now. Later.
Yeah, roll credits. That's all there is.
We shall all grieve now.
Sobbing in the blurb.
I was literally, because we're rereading, which, fun fact, because the first time I read this through, when it get to the whole fighting scene, like the whole last, it's like a whole, 3 chapters, 36, 37, 38, I want to say.
Yeah.
I, skim read, sped read, me in fights, I kind of go blah, 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 oh, someone got stabbed, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Someone's falling from the sky. Blah, blah, blah. Someone's getting stabbed. Blah, blah, blah. Knife.
Pretty much. And so actually sitting there and actually reading and trying to take notes on it for once, I was like, what is Violet doing? What is Violet doing? Does she have a brain? I kid you not. That was me reading most of this entire fighting montage.
That is fair, I will say. Every now and then she does stuff, and I'm like, you didn't fully think that through, but I don't know. I guess the intention is there.
So we're going to be going, of course, over the ACOTAR series in the future. And I've complained about Feyre. Historically, I complain about Feyre, where she only has a working brain when the plot needs it.
She's so dumb.
So dumb. Violet, I feel like, has the opposite problem, where she's just dumb whenever the plot dictates it.
Yeah.
That's how, especially these, last, chapters, I'm just like, Violet, I thought you were better than this.
Yeah, I feel like it takes her so long to be to realize that things are happening, and I'm like, girl, it's literally right in front of your face.
Oh, it drove me up a wall with the Venom and Wyverns and Liam. She was like, oh yeah, are there Wyverns? And they're like, huh? And she's like, they're powered by the Venom. The Venom created them. And then they're all attacking these Wyverns. And they're like, oh yeah, if we kill the Wyverns, it's like the dragons and the rider's gonna die. And I'm like, why would killing the Wyvern killed the Venom when the Venom created the Wyverns?
Yeah.
You said that already. Why have you, and then Liam literally kills one of the Venom and its Wyvern dies right in front of Violet's face. And she still hasn't registered that information at all. And then Liam's as he's dying, I want to say, or something like that, he was like, the Venom or something, he was trying to tell her. And she was just like, you're gonna live! Or, I remember the whole scene, but...
Yeah, no, that sounded pretty accurate to me.
Violet's just completely clueless and trying to figure out what he was saying and things, and I'm just over here, and she's like, oh my gosh, there's so many Wyverns, what will we do? We're dead. And then she finally freaking realizes that the Venom need to be killed. It literally felt like it took the entire battle for her to figure it out, even though she basically stated it up front without realizing it, and then even saw it in front of her face happen.
Yeah.
So it's one of those moments where I was just like, I get a lot has happened, and she's emotional whiplashed, and everything's all over the place. I don't know how much sleep this girl's gotten.
Probably not enough, but yeah.
That was the part that took me out. It like literally saw Liam kill the venom and the wyvern die, and she just didn't register it.
Yeah, she couldn't help it. She has no brain cells.
Not at the moment, nope. They're gone. Yeah, I had to hit on that because that was like one thing that stuck with me because I was just like, what? What? Huh?
Yeah.
The whole Liam dying absolutely ripped me to shreds.
Every time. Every time I read it, it breaks my heart.
Just because he literally sacrificed himself and just looks at Violet and it's just like, you were my friend, or you are my friend.
Yeah. And he's like, it's been an honor. And I'm like, great. Thanks, bud. You're killing me.
Come back to life.
For real.
Knowing this happened and then reading Violet freak out on him, it's like, Violet, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it.
Yeah. Politely take a chill pill, Violet.
But she literally looks at the people around her and she's like, I don't see any friends. Liam's dead.
Yeah.
I died inside. For a variety of reasons. Because one, it's like Xaden's there. Mind you, I guess that's technically lover / ex-lover.
Yeah, they're on rocky terms at the moment.
But I was like, you have like Imogen and Garrett and all that. And she was like, so she doesn't consider any of them even close to friend status?
Not anymore.
Like, she's like, yeah, I'll keep your secrets. I'll fight this battle. None of you are my friends, though.
I'll keep your secrets and I'll fight this battle, but you guys kind of suck.
I don't know how she rationalizes this, but she's doing more for people she doesn't consider friends than I would. I had to get that one out right out the start for the podcast. Just had to.
Yeah.
I guess let's see, and then go back to, I guess, the beginning, chapter 33. So, in the previous chapter, Violet and Xaden just got done hooking up, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like in the middle of hooking up or whatever. And then at the very end, was it Garrick? I forget who.
I think it was Garrick.
You think so?
I think so. It was either Garrick or Bodhi, but I'm pretty sure it was Garrick.
So he knocks on the door and goes, we're being attacked. Move it.
They quickly throw on their clothes. And I will say, I love small actions. And him giving her his jacket makes me, like, scream and, like, kick my feet a little bit every time. I love it.
It is so cute, but also from the logical standpoint where I remember commenting or thinking in the previous chapter where Violet's like, I don't want to sleep my way to the top because it's like you're tied to him. Sleeping's irrelevant. If what? To then just wearing his jacket out.
But it's different because it's him and it makes me all giddy.
Where I made fun of Dane and Violet really sucking, specifically Dane sucking at like hiding things and keeping things a secret and stuff with Violet. It's now Violet and Xaden sucking at it.
Yeah.
Here, wear our wing leader's jacket that you don't want other people to know that you're sleeping with him. And also wear your clothes that you were wearing last night. I get it, it's like 4 a.m. or something, but it's still a little odd.
Yeah, I mean, walk of shame outfit, I guess, for her.
Yeah. As Ray mentioned, the quickly put on your clothes. I felt like I read like them taking 5 minutes or 10 minutes to put on clothes. It was surreal in the sense of, I think like the opening sentence or something, Violet's like, for the chapter, she states something along the lines of, this is the fastest I've ever gotten ready. And then proceeds to go through and just be like, oh yeah, and like chat with Xaden and like just taking her time with things.
Yeah.
Getting dressed and like putting in like blades, but then it was like not all of her blades. And it was confusing. I was like, I thought this was the fastest you've ever gotten dressed and there was urgency, but now it seems like you're kind of just kicking your feet and giggling.
She might not be, but I sure was.
Fair. It was very cute. Specifically, while Ree looks at Violet, calls Violet out on the fact that she fully slept with their wing leader.
Yeah, and it's literally Violet being like, you can't know that. And Rhea's like, well, what about the the third year stars, or the fourth wing patch, or the fact that it's got the wing leader patch underneath the stars, and I'm like,
No brain cells between those two, unfortunately, at that moment.
no. Although, to be fair, they were interrupted at possibly 4 a.m. from certain escapades, certain activities.
Sleep deprived. Prior to that, wasn't like Zayden freaking playing the let's sit on the parapet?
Yeah.
It was a long night for those two. Regardless, Ree won the Best Friend award by a landslide as Dane shows his face and she promptly hides the like all the patches and stuff.
I didn't even catch that. Yeah, she does.
Oh, it was great. Every time like Dane would look, she would just like throw her arm or have her arm like covering it on Violet or her body or something like that. It was great.
Iconic. I love her.
Ree won Best Friend ever by a landslide.
Yeah.
No questions. Though it would have been funny seeing Dane randomly blow up about... Actually, correction. I don't think he would have blown up.
I feel like he would. And I'm basing this strictly on him low-key blowing up later.
See, the later part's the reason why I was like, maybe not, because I feel like he didn't really blow up. Like, he first kind of went like, are you crazy? And then he kind of was like, okay, whatever.
I do feel like he could have blown up more.
True.
But I don't know.
Oh, and then obviously, of course, the we are under attack is just them being obnoxiously mean, and it's the last event of the war games.
Yeah, which I'm not gonna lie, it's a good thing I'm not there because they would have been like, we're under attack, and I would have had an anxiety attack. And I feel like, hey, now I'm under 2 attacks. Double attacks.
Oh my god. The double attack. I would have been like, I get it. I get the purpose. You know, you never know when you're going to be attacked. But could we have not waited one more day and done it 4 a.m. the next day? We're all off here celebrating and all this stuff, and you're just going to be like, bam! Could we not have just a little reprieve? Just a little. Like, whose genius idea was this? Fire them. And then to add on top of that nonsense, it's a whole 5-day exercise. And then looking at my notes here, apparently Violet's senses were tingling again, and I'm kind of curious what they were tingling about.
When were they tingling?
Towards the beginning, maybe middle of chapter 33. I'm wondering if this is when Colonel Atos was talking.
Oh, yeah. I think it was.
I just remember writing it like 2 or 3 different times in this last section group about Violet. Yeah, because I have 34 Violet senses tingling again. And so there was like things like Dane was doing or Colonel Atos was doing. And she'd be like, something strange is here and I don't know what. We now know what, but...
Yeah.
Yikes. Also, shout out to Heaton's hair color.
Yeah.
He just keeps changing his hair color. So anytime he's mentioned, if they don't mention his hair color, I don't know what his hair color is. It was red originally. Then it went to, I think it was purple or green. And then it changed to purple or green this time.
Yeah, this time it has like purple streaks in it, I think is what they said.
Okay. It's always like flames in his hair or something like that.
Yeah, which is kind of fun. I would do that.
Freaky fun fresh.
Indeed.
His file. Way down here. Oh, he's the guy that can breathe underwater.
I feel like that's not super helpful in this case, but, you know, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, when is breathing underwater ever helpful with...
I mean, if you're going to find Atlantis or fight Aquaman, then it could be helpful. However, I don't think it's going to benefit any of these people.
I'm just like sitting there thinking, so I was like, I don't pay attention to the maps or any of this. I was like, do they have oceans nearby? Is it just rivers? I know there's mountains and they're on dragons. When is breathing underwater ever needed?
Maybe he wants to learn to scuba dive and he won't need the oxygen tanks because he can just breathe underwater. Maybe it's just for his hobbies. Are they allowed to have hobbies?
I'm not going to lie. My brain has gone through so many different comments. The first starting with, do they even have scuba gear whatsoever?
Very fair.
The second being breathing underwater plus hobby, and my brain went to, so he's just like skinny dipping underneath the water, breathing, just hanging out down there. Like, what kind of horror is this?
The meme of the like chair with the skeleton underwater? That's him.
Not gonna lie, that's a vibe.
Yeah, he's just vibing. Although I guess if he wants to just be left alone, that's all he has to do. Because in reality, how many of these people can breathe underwater?
Exactly. Who's going to look for him there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, once one person figures it out, probably a lot. But at first, not too much.
Yeah, we're seated. Well, if he's not there, have you gone to the pond out back? He might just be at the bottom of the pond.
Now, imagine someone saying that to someone who doesn't know that he can breathe underwater. Yeah, he's in the pond out back. Like,
He likes to watch the fishes.
sleeping with a fish or something.
Oh my gosh. If he could continuously breathe underwater without thinking about it too much whatsoever, he totally could just fall asleep. Well, correction, heat. That's the issue. If it's really cold.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But I mean, if it's like a nice temperature.
Could just pass out, man. Well, then you got waterlog and stuff like that. But ignoring all those issues. Also, he could breathe underwater doesn't mean he could see easily either. So he would need like goggles.
I mean, they wear goggles whenever they fly anyway.
That's true. True.
I think about that all the time.
I keep seeing TikToks and everyone discussing what goggles and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, does it matter?
I think it just makes them look really silly in my head. And I really appreciate that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, actually, speaking about the goggles, I forgot. It reminded me of like the very last chapter, which is Zayden's POV, which was a jump scare delight.
Mm-hmm.
Was whenever Violet's not woken up yet, and he's staring at Violet's face, he makes a comment. He was like, yeah, she's been asleep for 3 days, but I see a little bit more pink like around her flight lines or something like that. And I'm like, how does she still have lines from her goggles after 3 days?
3 days. Yeah, I think so. I listened to that chapter because Teddy Hamilton. So I think I was too enthralled in listening to Teddy Hamilton speak to me that I didn't register that statement.
And I just sat there just kind of confused as I read it. I'm pretty sure I made a note on it too, because that's how I was just like, huh? Yeah, why does 3 days later she have flight goggle lines still?
Maybe they're just permanently ingrained into her skin. Homegirl needs to loosen her goggles.
I need somebody who wears goggles all the time and announce that if they wear goggles all day, if it would be on their face 3 days later still or not.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. Anyway, so to continue on, the lovely discussions of these last chapters where I'm constantly like, what the hell's going on? I had a complete little lovely text note scream over they're getting ready to get on their dragons for the war game and stuff. They're like, whatever their meeting plan was, and it's like, be back in like 10 minutes or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy that Violet finally, or at least it mentions Violet finally wrapping her like joints before getting on the dragon.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh, I'll be gone 5 days. It's war stuff. Gotta wrap the joints.
She finally got to think logically.
It was just so beautiful. Also, it's never mentioned again that she's like has wrappings on her, which I guess it's kind of irrelevant unless like for some reason it got like was too tight or restrictive or got cut off or something.
Yeah.
Makes me want to like tear up and cry a little because I can remember when she's like going through the gauntlet and she didn't wrap any of her joints.
Like a fucking dumbass.
I don't want to look weak. You're gonna be weak without your wrappings.
Yeah.
I was like, and plus, I'm pretty sure she can hide, like, she hides them under her clothes half the time.
Yeah.
Oh, so speaking of dragons and her flying, I have several questions about her on Terran. Well, some of it's just flying in general.
Okay.
So she makes a comment. She was like, because they're, rushing and it's like several long hours flights to get to their destinations and stuff like that for the war games. She was like, I guess I'll just eat breakfast mid-flight. How are you eating breakfast while the dragon's flying, presumably at a decent pace?
I thought the same thing, and all I imagined was her on the back of Terran with, like, the applesauce that comes in a pouch?
Yeah.
And it was just, I imagined her in her goofy little flight goggles slurping on some pouched applesauce.
Not bad. That's not a bad thought there.
Which I'm sure is not accurate to what they were going for, but that's what I got.
Mind you, part of this is also tied into the goggle stuff too. Is, taking off, you're flying, all that. I don't know how much bugs go that high.
I wouldn't think too many, because I'm assuming they're like up like cloud level, maybe a little lower.
True. I guess bugs wouldn't be up that high. But that was like part of my thing. So I was like, if they ever fly too low, wouldn't bugs be an issue?
Yeah, I feel like if they were lower, they would. But I imagined them higher than that.
Imagine taking off and like there's like just mosquitoes all over the place when you take off.
That would be awful.
I feel like you'd just be covered in dead mosquitoes.
Yeah, that would be really awful.
I like the slurping. I can see the slurping really easily done.
Like, the slurping, I feel, makes a lot of sense. And it makes a silly image.
I love it so much. Does everyone have their breakfast slurpees?
And if they don't, they should.
Was it chapter like 38? Deals with the flying stuff? Well, kind of the whole battle scene in general, but specifically 38.
Yeah, because whenever they're on the ground, they're like, we're a target down here. Newsflash, they're also a target in the sky. But at least they're a moving target.
But Violet, when she's like, okay, I did my thing now, I'm done now. And then she's just like falling off her saddle. And I'm like, weren't you strapped into your saddle? How are you falling off your dragon?
I mean, at one point, she, like, she basically unbuckles herself. Because then Terran's yelling at her, and he's like, I will not drop you. Get back in.
Oh, okay, yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah, I forgot. She unbuckles all of herself, attacks the venom, deals with that, then sits back on her saddle, where she then promptly doesn't rebuckle herself.
Yeah.
Okay, that checks out now, because I was very confused. And I'm like, she's falling. I'm like, but she's strapped in. Why is she falling?
Yeah.
I also had a snide comment, too, because I thought it was kind of funny, is while Liam's dying, or I guess right before he's dying, she uses her lap belt. And she was like, oh, I don't ever use this. And grabs the lap belt to, like, try and help him stay on the dragon.
Yeah.
So I just find it kind of a little ironic that she's now falling and she doesn't use her lap belt. And it's like, that sounds like a fairly easy little thing that she could have done that maybe would have kept her on her dragon.
Yeah.
Kind of curious why there's a lap belt if she's also has her, like, legs strapped down.
Just extra support, I guess.
Questions I had, and I'm just like, what is going on? I think those were pretty much most of my what the hell's going on dragon flying nonsense. Jumping back to 33, we get to find out that Ree wants to be the squad leader next year.
Yes! I love her. She would be a wonderful, wonderful squad leader.
Oh, hands down, better than Dane.
Oh, that's a very low bar.
Better than Violet.
Yeah.
Also kind of a low bar.
Yeah.
Violet does not have leadership qualities.
Not a lot.
So also, chapter 33, while they're, like, figuring out, like, you have Dane going to one location and Xaden going to the other. Xaden, of course, shows up and it's just like, Violet's with me, Liam's with me, yar.
Yar.
I made notes because of Dane. This is the Dane moment. And it was just interesting because Dane's like, Violet's going to be safer with me. And I'm like, Violet's safer with somebody whose signet ability is info gathering via hand face touching versus number one threat and like the third, like out of the whole college group for that like grouping. Like Zayden's like set to be the most powerful writer in a hot minute. How would she be safer with Dane and not Zayden?
Unless he has something planned that he knows about.
I want to know how much he knows.
I mean, he's like daddy's little fucking tattletale. He tells his dad everything, and his dad's a piece of shit.
The fact that Dane realizes that Violet either slept with Zayden or is dating him or whatever, and he's just like, the hell? And then all of a sudden switches up, and it just starts being actually insanely logical, like rational out of nowhere. And I'm like, are you okay? You're being rational out of nowhere. It's kind of creepy.
You're being a little odd, bud.
You're making sense and not being crazy, which is in fact crazy. And then, of course, you have his haunting line, which when I read it, I went, why does that scream? Like, I don't know if a villain said it before, but it just screamed like a villain line. And that I've read it or seen it somewhere before. That wasn't this book because I've read the book before. It was just I will miss you, Violet.
Yeah. The moment he said that, like, the first time I was reading it, I was like, all right, something's up. Because it's 5 days. And, like, you have not acted like her best friend the entire book. Why are you going to miss her? What's going to happen? Those are someone's dying words.
It's insane. Insane. Which, of course, we find out they actually had an option. They could have actually done the war games, or they could fight to their deaths.
Yep.
She had options. She even, like, Zayden was like, yo, you can, like, leave. So, still kind of safer with Zayden than Dane.
Oh, yeah. Well, also, at this point, she thinks that Zayden has vested interest in her staying alive, because her dying might mean him dying as well.
True. And their dragons really can't stand to be apart at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was just one of those things where it's like, I don't know what his plan was or how he thought that was going to work out. Dane, that is. It's something. So, that's chapter 33 in my note format form of essentially a Bree is great. Keaton's an odd character. And Dane straight up had a villain line.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then, of course, chapter 34 is they're flying off to the locations. And let's see, is this where they started having? No, not quite, but it's kind of the beginning of where Violet finds out that they're working with Griffin flyers. Or maybe it is just straight up all chapter 34 is when they find that out.
Yeah. I was like, it's whenever they land and then Zayden and Violet are like making out off to the side, and then some random girl's like, wow, you're really doing that right now.
Also, I have so much to scream about in this chapter, but specifically that moment. And they're like, let's just have fun time over here behind a rock.
Yeah, I mean, at least, like, Zayden put together a team of people that he trusts with his life. So, like, I don't think any of them are gonna be like, ew, gross, get a room. Because then they would have to deal with Zayden.
True. But still, it was just kind of a, what are you doing? Also, we get the fun statistical information fact here of they like lose 10% of people in the final game for the first years. And I'm at the point where I'm just like, how is anyone a dragon rider at this point?
Literally. How does anyone want to continue to be a dragon rider at this point?
They, like, if there's like 1,000 people they start off with, it's like the parapet chomps it off. Then you have the whole gauntlet. And then you're limited by how many dragons even bother with wanting to pair up with somebody.
Yeah.
In which case that like cuts you down and like you're down to like 100 now. And then from that point onwards, it's just like, yeah, people die. People are dying. And we're only in the first year. You still got second year and third year. Like the graduating class at this point, it's like 20 people, it feels like.
Yeah. Also, you have the people who like don't bond, and then they have to do first year all over again.
Wild. Also, shout out in this chapter to Liam again, Liam's just trying to be a friend here, and Violet straight up is like, don't turn into Dane on me. Uncalled for.
Yeah, I will say, very uncalled for.
She could have said anything. She had to say, don't turn into Dane. Girl. And then, of course, she gets smacked upside the head with Griffin flyers, and Xaden's been working with them. So we find out, of course, that Xaden what he's been sneaking off and doing. Also, what he was hiding in his wardrobe, presumably.
What was he hiding in his wardrobe? I missed this.
I don't know when. I think this was during the Smut Gauntlet chapters or something.
The Smut Gauntlet?
Yeah. That or it was just the recent one, which either way, I think that was part of the Smut Gauntlet.
I think Smut Gauntlet should be the name of the episode.
I think that title group, I just had a smut, but we could switch it to Smut Gauntlet. Let me type that. But I just remember there was like doing something in his room, and he was like closed the wardrobe or did something with his wardrobe, and I'm like, what on earth could be in there that he doesn't want Violet to see?
Yeah. So
now I'm thinking that's where he was hiding some weapons or something that he was smuggling.
Maybe. Yeah.
That or he has dildos in there. I
feel like that would make sense for him, though.
Yeah.
And maybe they're wooden and Liam made them.
Oh my gosh.
Because I doubt they have silicone.
You got a point there. Oh. Unless you get the ice mage. Not ice mage, the ice signet people, and you have an ice one.
But then you'd have to replace them all the time.
True.
Although I guess wooden ones would be really awful.
Yeah, splinters galore.
Yeah.
Potential.
Yeah. I mean, sand it down a bit, put a nice, varnish on it, I guess. I should not be thinking that far into that.
So conclusion is, if such things exist, it feels like it's leaning towards more like glass.
Yeah. They do have glass, so...
The things we're figuring out here. This has gotten so wildly off topic.
Which feels accurate for how it was supposed to go.
The fact that we have no brain cells at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Chapter 34, we get the betrayal of Violet feeling specifically betrayed. And I have so many things to say about Violet in this moment. Also Xaden, because Xaden also annoys me in this moment too. Is right when you hear the woman's voice or whatever commenting while they're making out. You just have Xaden instantly go, oops, sorry. I'm like, bro, you're not sorry. You just got caught.
Yeah. You're sorry that you got caught. You're not sorry for your action.
Uh-huh. I was like, shut up. And then he turns to Violet and it's just like, if you've ever trusted me, Violet, I need you to do it now. I don't like the way he worded that.
I also didn't like the way he worded that because it felt very manipulative. But also, I feel like he was working on a really large time crunch because she was ready to fry this girl with her really bad aimed lightning.
I would have preferred if he just kept it way shorter. It was just like, trust me. Do you trust me? Something like that. Instead of if you've ever trusted me kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was something. And then shout out to the fact that he also full on just pretty much turns Violet into a hostage essentially, or a prisoner. It just
what?
he goes through and
oh yeah.
And then Liam comes over and
they just kind of toss her around for a bit.
Yeah, and Liam's just like, sorry. And it's like, Liam, I understand, but at the same time, shut up.
Yeah.
Just being passed around while being held hostage or imprisoned or whatever. And then freaking Taryn had enough of them manhandling her that he is growls, and they're like, okay, maybe don't manhandle her where their dragon will smite you.
Because Taryn's more of a burn to the ground, ask questions later sort of guy.
I love Taryn.
I love him. He's wonderful.
Just the best in the story. He's just the best. And this is, of course, where if you piece the things together, I don't know if Violet pieced it together. No, she did. But it was very obviously pierced together really quickly here. Whenever they were planning their tactics for the war simulation and everything, like, yeah, we'll just leave Violet behind with Liam while we're doing some stuff. And then Zayden's like, you're early. And I'm like, bro is just gonna, like, be like, here, stay here while I go smuggle away weapons. He really should have just owned up to this by this point.
Oh yeah, he definitely should have. However, he definitely should have, but he definitely was not going to do that.
Which really, this would have been a good time to have started that convo, maybe, instead of making out behind the rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So chapter 34, the other comment too that I thought was interesting is Violet thinks to herself about Colonel Atos being a fair man, but gotta, like, give him his dues or something like that. And I was like, that's not how fairness works, and fairness is stupid anyways. Especially with military.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I wouldn't call it fairness as more as like giving opportunities, I guess, would be a better way to explain it. Because essentially he's like, hey, I found out what you're doing. You either can save your friends here, or you can save yourselves, prove you're loyal, and go and do this.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where I wouldn't call that fair so much as giving opportunities or choices.
They kind of also just put them in a shit position that they knew that they were not likely to survive.
Yeah. They literally went, best of luck.
Yeah.
Which is also, like, it's like insane and not insane because Zayden's the strongest rider at the moment. Why are you just sending him off to his death? But then he's also a traitor, and it's kind of like you don't have, like, it's kind of like a you screw up and you're dead. Chapter 35. Let's see. Chapter 35's intro quote, I made a comment about it being interesting. Basically, it foreshadowing and love that they won't say what the madman said.
What madman?
Well, let me go read what the 35 intro quote thing was, the beginning chapter thing.
Oh, yeah, I still am out here not reading those. I should get better about that.
It was about Zayden's dad. So this is by Colonel Lewis Markham, Navarre and Unedited History. In his last days of interrogation, Finn Ryerson lost touch with reality. Railing against the Kingdom of Navarre, he accused King Kaori and all who came before him of a conspiracy so vast, so unspeakable, that it does not bear repeating by this historian. The execution was swift and merciful for a madman who cost untold lives. So you're basically saying there's a crazy person who's spewing nonsense and got everyone killed, but we won't tell you what he was spewing.
Yeah, they just have to trust that they're not lying, and yeah, that's kind of it. They just
having so this madman spewing conspiracies, but I won't tell you what those conspiracies are. They're just crazy. Trust me.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, that's a little fishy.
Yeah, it's a little suspicious.
Especially when it's in the unedited history.
Yeah.
So that's how chapter 35 starts off, and I'm already like, what? And then, of course, we find out the Griffin Flyers people, I think, make a comment or something because of this is where you get, like, the venom and all that mentioned. And they're like, yeah, no, Navarre is just going to continue to act like nothing exists beyond y'all's borders. Which is just full-on accurate because we've barely mentioned anything about beyond outside Navarre's borders. Literally, it's like, yeah, we're a military country, and dragon riders, the highest of the hierarchy here. And who are the enemies? Griffin riders. Okay. Where? Why? Huh?
Yeah.
Don't get any answers to that whatsoever. They're correct. They don't care about anything outside their borders. They're just protecting them.
Yep.
Which technically isn't inherently wrong, but also wrong.
Yeah, I feel like it's not inherently wrong until they're actively like hiding this information from people that they're working for.
Yeah, and then having like to be a dragon rider kind of is equated to almost being like a hero. Like you're supposed to like protect people and help people. Throughout this like last section of the book, you get a lot more questions and you get some answers, which is of course kind of like some of them I still have kind of is like, oh, why is there bad blood between griffins and dragon? Like why, like where did this started? Don't have that. But why are the Griffin Riders attacking at the moment? It's to get supplies to attack the like to defend against the Venom.
Yeah.
But also, why are the Venom existing? Why are they attacking? What's going on? Like, there's just so many questions of just not knowing what on earth are with the Venoms and all that. And they kind of answer hint-ish at some of things. In chapter, I think 35, they kind of a little bit because that's where Violet's like, you mean these Venom? You mean this folklore? And they're like, folklore, that's just history. Oh, and I also thought it was interesting, too, with the Griffin Riders. They're like, a Soaring Gale? Was it a Soaring Gale helping? Never.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, well, I don't remember what their exact words were, but it was like something along the phrase of like, you'll never find a Sorengale helping someone other than herself or something. I was like, you don't even know her.
Not only that, the fact that it was just the last name Sorengale. And I'm like, is there some like kind of bad history? Because as far as we know, the only Sorengales are that we have any somewhat info on is Violet, her sister, her brother, who we find out the end's alive. I have comments about him. Anyway, and then her mom and dad. Dad, we got nothing on besides he knew about this stuff and he what is going on. We learn also in this set of chapters that the mom knows what's going on, but obviously, I don't think her sister knows. Mira, I don't think, has any idea.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Brennan, her brother, I don't know how much he knew what was going on before the battle, where he ended up. Well, correction, not the battle. This was the rebellion, the revolution, whatever, where he quote unquote dies. So I'm not certain how much he was a part of it versus he was in that battle, realized what was going on, and then switched and faked his death, is what I'm assuming happened. Don't know. But at some point, he gets clued in and helps them. So I'm kind of confused here, which is like, what Sorengale is she talking about? Or is it just the fact that her mother, who's the general, is purposely turning a blind eye?
Yeah. I feel like they would have to mainly be talking about her mom, and then that leads me to wonder, like, at some point did the Griffin Flyers reach out for help reach out to her mom for help with the Venom problem, and did her mom just straight up say no, and is that why like they have this mindset of her?
I feel like something had to have happened for it to be so, like, just a definitive statement. I have a couple different things. Javali just now one noticing that the Zayden squad that he picked out is like, everyone has the mark but her.
Yeah, it took her a really long time to figure that out. And I'm like, girl, open your eyes. Like, pattern recognition is not that difficult. You're supposed to be the smart one.
Once again, I brought this up in the previous podcast. It's just the rules around the rebellion relics and gathering, because it's like, how, like, I get, like, they probably some loophole shenanigans, but I was like, what, like, how is this?
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that with their whole, like, you can't gather in groups more than 2. Huh. I completely forgot that was a thing.
Yeah. I forget the exact wording for the stupid law, but that was essentially the law. It was they can't be, like, left alone or something, etc. And I'm like, how is there essentially a full-on battle squadron of just the relics users, people, havers, whatevers? There's that fact where I'm just like, how is this not illegal? This feels illegal. I say, as their existence is essentially illegal, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Oh, and then also while you're reading all this and Violet's freaking out, I'm thinking in my back of the brain how she kind of notes that Taryn's not doing anything. Heron's very protective in particular.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, if I had Taryn, Dragon, Connect, whatever, and I thought enemies just showed up and my dragon wasn't reacting, I'd be asking questions.
Yeah, especially because she does have a rather reactive dragon.
Yeah. Like, if an actual enemy showed up there, one, he would probably just instantly smite them.
Yeah.
Two, he would also then pretty much snatch up Violet and leave. She, of course, figures it out and figures out Taryn and all that stuff eventually. It just takes her a minute. And then I also find it interesting because she does this in this chapter, and then she does it, of course, at the last chapter, where she has this whole, "You lied to me, you liars."
Girl, these liars kept you alive.
Oh, like, by the end of this, it drove me up a wall.
I'm like, literally, like, what I say, they lied to her, yes. But also, like, they kept you alive. They could have easily just taken your dead body back and thought nothing else of it.
At the end, yeah, the last chapter.
Yeah.
It just, her whole thing of, they all lied to me and all, and it's kind of insane to me because it's like, you all just fought together. You all just, like, threw down your lives together, saved each other, all this, and it's the, like, especially with her and Zeta, and she's like, "I can't trust you," or something, whatever, and it's like, yeah, don't trust what he says, but you could trust him with your life. Bros saved your life so many times. Like, that's, like, beyond no questions. Like, but yeah, so in the moment whenever she's first, like, back in 35, freaking out and all this, and she's like, "Y'all liars," and da-da. It's interesting because I can see her being upset, but at the same time, it's, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, it's not even Zayden's secrets to even tell.
Yeah, no, it definitely is not.
Because he's putting the Griffin, like, flyers and all of them at risk, too. So it's like, yeah, be mad, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like you can't be really exactly mad at the lying because it's not his to tell. But, like, not informing her about the venom and stuff like that's, yeah, be mad.
Yeah, I feel like there's certain things. I feel like there are certain things that she can be mad at, but a lot of the things that she focuses on are not the things that she should be the most mad about.
Yeah, it's interesting. And even to the point where she's just like, "I should have trusted Dane. Should I have trusted Dane?" Wild. And then, of course, she gets pissed at Liam, and she's all like, also like, "Liam, you've been lying to me too." And it's like, once again, not his place. And then she, of course, also, I have to make a note, is where she's like, "I should have known better. He's the master of secrets." I was like, Violet, you're getting a little bit emo on us here.
Yeah, she really is about to, like, bust out the, like, fucking, "Tonight will be the night that I will fall for you." Like, just full on emo, like.
It got to the point reading that section where I was just like, "I'm begging you, Violet. I'm begging you. For once, I'm begging you. Stop using your brain.
Yeah.
Just stop. You're using it wrong. Please stop it." Also, I have to make a comment here because I find this really funny because this is a funny little quirk with me. Is you have Zayden speaking really softly to Violet to try and keep her, like, calm down and not smite everyone there. If I was Violet, everyone would be smited so quickly. I can't stand people talking softly to me.
Yeah. I got not great hearing, so I'd be like, huh?
I'm the weirdest because everyone's like, "Whatever you do, don't tell a woman to calm down." And I'm like, no, you can tell me to calm down. It won't piss me off. But if you start talking to me really softly, it screams the calm down and it pisses me off. It's like manipulative calming down.
Yeah.
And that pisses me off so quickly. I think these last, like, 9 chapters, is it 9? Yeah. 7.
Yeah, I was like, I thought it was 7.
7. Plus 2 imaginary chapters.
Oh, okay. The ones that ramble on in your head. Gotcha.
Yeah. I can't count, man.
That's okay.
I like how you have this very tense situation going on and everything, and Zayden just goes in and does the, actually, they're called flyers.
I love that he does that because he basically just pulls a actually, and I love it because Violet's the actually person,
She is.
so she got actually'd at, which is wonderful.
I loved it because it seemed to work wonders on Violet to disrupt her stupid brain flow.
Fair.
I felt like he just needed to keep going and having her like manipulated brain thinking elsewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I think this is okay. So then 35 also we get more of the history, like which I mentioned earlier, which about Navarre. So they're apparently founded like 600 years ago. The archive only has like 400 years of history. So like the original was like kind of sealed away. And I'm over here like, so what happened after 200 years that they like just, because that's essentially, I guess, when they decided that they need to hide away the venom and all that nonsense. And so I'm like, after 200 years, you just went, we're going to lie to everyone now. Like, what happened? That's what I picked out of that. And I was kind of interested, curious of, which could be maybe part of the lore, the folklore that Violet mentions in this chapter. Whatever. There was like something about like three, like folklore about like three brothers and like one of them turns into a venom.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, I don't know if it's maybe that was the split up like that. Like after 200 years, maybe that's what happened. Is that's the like something happened with those three. And so this is also where I get interested too, because it's like, why do those specific weapons kill venom, but other things don't? What do the venom want? Like, what are they doing? What are they up to? Like, why do they exist? So many questions. Why are they attacking now, or have they always been attacking? Did they get like more clever about like what's changed, if anything? And then to of course re-illustrate what venom are is allegedly. So you bond with a dragon, you channel the dragon's magic. You bond with a griffin, you channel theirs. Venoms are people who just tap into magic without a dragon or a griffin or anything. And for some reason, apparently that's like you turn evil. I don't know. It's just like you're beyond salvation. I guess magic's inherently bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I imagine it like how I viewed it was it like corrupts their like soul, sorta.
I think it mentions that somewhere. Yeah, like it corrupts their soul and they like don't have souls anymore or something. Which is also fascinating too, because how do they know we have souls to begin with?
I mean, they believe in a lot of different deities, so.
That's true. I forgot they do have all those gods. They're just vaguely randomly mentioned.
Yeah, but there are so many of them.
So many. One of the things I thought was interesting was with the battle of Violet with the venom, was the quote unquote like sage venom or whatever. In which case Violet assumes I guess that's like a teacher or whatever.
Huh? Oh, the sage. Yeah, gotcha. I was like, which one are you talking about? Gotcha. I got there.
Yeah, because she kills a chick or something. She's like, oh, the sage would have fun with you or something, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Violet's like, they have teachers? And I did not take it calling a venom the sage as a teacher, more so as just like a title, like a leadership title.
I also saw it as a leadership title.
To put to words. I thought it was interesting how it seemed like the venom were really interested in Violet, or I guess specifically her being able to wield lightning.
Yeah.
And the whole, like, whoever the chick, the female venom, whatever, was playing with her and was just like, oh, you dragon riders never, like, never know how to harness the sky or whatever. Kind of makes me wonder, because you have, like, the lore with the three brothers and stuff. I almost wonder, because Violet also has the gray hair, whatever, silver hair thing. If Violet somehow, her, like, family line is related to one of those brothers.
Maybe.
Because the venom seemed fascinated with her, and then the fact that she has lightning, and then her mother also controls the sky. And so I was like, and the weird silver hair thing that hasn't been explained and all this other like stuff going on. Like, and Taryn's like silver one. I'm like, maybe she somehow is related to like one of those brothers, and like there's like maybe some type of like genetic trait or history or something there.
Yeah. I don't recall if we got the explanation of her silver hair in book 3. I don't think we did, but I don't fully remember because it's been a while since I've read it.
Valid. So it's just like one of those, like, I wonder, just because it's all this information and stuff's happening within like a chapter or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made another snide comment here. So when Violet's spewing off her like little folklore about the venom and stuff, I just had to make the snide comment because previously when she when Mira gave her the folklore book, she was like, "Oh, this is my favorite book. I don't really remember anything about this." And now she's just spewing out all this folklore. I'm like, okay, so maybe she was actually able to read it and we just weren't aware. Like there wasn't a comment that she finally read it again.
I think they made like one comment about it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure she just kind of read through it.
But yeah, I was like, that's the assumption I'm under, because otherwise I was like, she went from like, I don't know, to all of a sudden having facts.
Yeah.
Who made this? I think it was Xaden maybe made the comment that lies are comforting and the truth is painful. Yeah, Xaden made that comment. Shout out to Xaden saying that, because that singular statement alone makes me like Xaden even more.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, can we have Xaden be the main character now? Which is then funny that we get his POV in the last chapter. Oh, and I forget what was going on, but for some reason they blamed Dane again. I don't remember what was going on in chapter 35 specifically, that they blaming Dane again, and Dane's at fault for something.
I'm trying to remember what they blamed him for.
Unless this was just like them getting like the betrayal, but I thought this was like something else besides the betrayal. I don't remember what, but I thought it was funny. Dane's a scapegoat now. It's kind of funny. The boogeyman? Satan.
Yeah.
I was annoyed because she kept doing like the poor me kind of thing. And it's like, Violet, you just learned that people are getting hunted down and attacked by venom outside the borders. I don't think it's about you.
It definitely is not about her, but she was going to make it about her.
Yeah, and then because of her being mad, she goes and at Xaden, and she was like, oh no, loved, past tense.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fucked up, Violet. That's fucked up.
Yeah, and she really kind of doubles down on that really hard.
It was the sheer fact of how hard she doubles down on it, and then even at the last chapter, when she wakes up and everything, that kind of pisses me off. I also made a comment that's intriguing about Taryn somehow suspecting about the venom or something.
Yeah, because she asks him if he knew, and he said that he suspected, but I know that he said that he suspected that.
Oh, was this the Wyverns? I thought that was interesting because the Xaden and the Griffin Riders all seemed clueless about the Wyverns. And then Taryn suspected it, so I'm like, so it kind of brings up, because it's part of the lore, because even Violet made a comment about the Wyvern lore, where venom create Wyverns. So it's interesting, because that would have been part of history, but apparently all these venom attacks, there hasn't been Wyverns yet. So it makes me wonder how, like, if there's only certain venom that can create Wyverns, how that happens and goes, etc. Or is it like time, or they need like a certain amount of like magic?
I'm assuming they have to have a certain amount of magic or power.
So I thought it was really curious about Taryn suspecting Wyverns and everyone else being completely clueless of what those are. Yeah. So that was another important detail that happened. Oh, that's what I forgot to mention when we were talking about the dragon flying saddles. They're not explosion proof.
True.
Because they're not fireproof.
Yeah. Which also, why don't they just make them out of dragon scales? Because dragon scales are fireproof.
Exactly. But yeah, which kind of makes more concerning now because there's wyverns. But I just had to make a remark that Violet decided in battle to play with explosions while she's sitting on a not fireproof / explosion proof saddle.
Yeah. Also, not one of her brightest moments.
No, I can't even remember how well that worked out either. Her explosion playing. My lovely rant once again of venom create wyverns. It's kind of the opposite of dragons here with the flow of magic. It's not that hard. Also, again, me questioning how many people does Xaden have in his team. I don't remember if they told us how many people Xaden took with him.
I think they didn't give a specific number, but they listed them out, and I think it was 7 or something.
Okay.
It was relatively small.
Because, yeah, Violet goes through and, during a battle or something, she kind of describes some things, and, one point it was something like a third year with the other 4, and I'm like, I get you're in a rush and all, but Violet joins this team where she doesn't know some of the people on the team, there's no basic, simple introductions.
Yeah.
Seems silly if you're going to be doing a war game and not know people's names on your own team. So, just another Violet fun kind of. I don't know why Xaden. Why didn't they do a quick blah 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 blah? Cool, we move on. Or if they did, Violet just promptly forgot all their names. Which, fair enough, a lot happened. Also, because of her battle stuff, I was too lazy to. But she kept freaking throwing off her lightning strikes.
Well, that's because she can't aim to save her life.
Well, yeah, but I was going to count how many she did because she just kept boom, 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 boom.
It's one of those things where it's throw a dart at the board over and over and over and you're bound to hit something. That's how she attacks it.
Yeah, she was really spamming it. What the heck? Oh! So continue about my complaining. I don't know if you, whenever you're listening to the war area, if you thought this was funny, but I thought it was kind of funny, annoying. So Violet's stressed about Xaden, and then this is the scene where Sagail gets snippy at Violet.
And Violet's Violet being yeah, I didn't ask for your approval. I think the first time I read that, I audibly screamed. That was iconic.
I think one thing I'm also disbelief about that happens during this battle is so Xaden blocks out, throws up shadows to hide things to help Violet fend off the venom on her dragon. I want to know when was the training for her to know the back of her dragon blind.
Yeah, I have no idea, because I thought the same thing. I was like, you have not trained, 1, in the dark, but 2, standing on your dragon. 3, standing on your dragon, fighting off a venom in the dark.
3, while they're all flying around moving with the venom. Violet even notes that this dagger tip is green. Why did her brain not go to poison?
Yeah, I feel like green is a very poison color.
Maybe it's just our world with our books and all that stuff. It's very obvious. Maybe they don't have us universal poison's green.
I mean, poison is orange earlier in the book.
True.
Oh, also something that we forgot. Whenever Liam's dying and he's telling Violet to watch over his sister.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sloane?
Yeah.
Yeah. The amount of freaking new characters and dragon names we get in these last couple, not a lot, but enough.
Yeah. Because then we also get some of the Griffin Flyer names as well.
Yeah, we just get, I think, 1. And then I mentioned that she has a sister. Because there's only 2 of the Griffins that survive.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the one that we dealt with and we got a description earlier for, I believe. Is whoever they gave her name and then made a comment about her sister also lived. Oh, and then I had this one part that I wanted to ask you about because I was so confused. Is that Bodhi, his cousin, is leaning against a wall. He's talking to Garrick. And then one of them has a new 6-inch scar from temple to jaw. And I couldn't figure out if that was Bodhi or Garrick.
I do not know.
Because it literally goes, my cousin is leaned up against the wall, comma, talking to Garrick, comma, who's boosting a new 6-inch scar from temple to jaw. And I can't tell if that's referring to his cousin or Garrick.
I'm thinking Garrick, based on how it's written.
That's what I was thinking. But then I was also weirded out because the commas.
Yeah. Typically, you would separate, if you took out that middle part, it should flow.
But it kind of doesn't. It just kind of goes, my cousin is leaned up against the wall, who's boasting a new 6-inch scar.
I would assume Garrick.
Going to update their files, and I'm like, I don't know who has the new 6-inch scar. Somebody does. I say, like, Google isn't a thing I can do here. Maybe if I just do fan art. I don't ever look at fan art. Maybe. There's one that shows him a scar. Another one would have been Bodhi. I'm leaning towards Garrick at the moment, because at least one showed a scar. I'm not seeing scars on Bodhi's fan art at the moment, which is a dangerous game to look up fan art.
Yeah. Especially because you're not caught up.
And then I think some of my other comments I've left are less important, but still need to be made, such as Bodhi or Garrett. One of them made a comment about Zayden smelling, and Zayden made a comment that he pretty much went into Violet, like put Violet in bed, like his room, wherever on the bed, and never left the room for 3 days. Did he sleep? Did he, like, after the battle and carrying around dying Violet and all that stuff, did he change clothes? Did he shower?
Did he shit?
Did he shit? Exactly.
And if so, where? If he never left the room.
They have a bathroom tied to it.
But if he never left the room, I would say entering the bathroom connected to a room is leaving the room.
Fair enough. You got a point there. Bro's just pissing in water bottles. Actually, I don't know if they have plastic. Well,
Water. There's actually just a bucket in the corner.
oh my gosh. Poor Violet. Bye.
Bye.